What's up, guys? I just want to cover a quick kind of overview, or at least a start into the applications that I've talked about: the UV Pro, the BTECH UV Pro, the BTECH UV 50 Pro, the BTECH GMRS 50 Pro, the VGC N7600 and the N7500 and the VGC N76 or N67. I can't remember the numbers, but if you're here watching this video, you know what it is you're looking for. They are essentially all the same as we go through. So just want to kind of go through some things you can do on the app, and some things you can do on the radio, but let's dive right into it. So one of the things is the wireless radio programming and setup. Now, this isn't required. The radio can just do it. It's a native thing for it to do on the front end of the radio, and I can just show you quickly, some of the options in there, and it's fairly intuitive, I would say, especially if you just do your research. It's pretty easy to figure out. So effortless programming, wireless configure all the radio settings, including channels, frequencies, memory groups, eliminating the need for cumbersome cables, right? So you don't need I had one sitting here a minute ago. Oh yeah, there we go. The infamous Baofeng cables, or any other radio for that matter, that you got to plug in, you got to download some Windows software. There's tons, honestly, at this point. There's tons of apps out there. A lot of the Retivus, whatever it is, definitely has the options for app programming. I think Baofeng's got their own, technically their own app that works for a lot of other radios, and then basically there's one that's basically like Chirp, that you use a K-style connector to the radios, and it'll Bluetooth connect. I've got all the things, so I've touched all of them, and they all work pretty well, essentially. Your channel management, right? Easily edit. I'll show you a bit of that. Easily edit your channels, organize memory channels. Now, what this radio does, what these apps do, and really natively the radio, is they use groups, channel groups. So you have like 30, I think, off the top of my head. Really quickly, I will look at that. 32, technically. 32 channel sections within each group, so you can have multiple groups. I think you can have up to 6 groups kind of saved on the radio, and you can jump between those groups. And you may have more than that, but it just looks to me like on the app and on the setup that you can only do like 6 of them. So yeah, you can have channel groups and channels. You can easily edit them on the radio. It's super easy to edit the channels as well, but the app helps you do it in different ways. Channel sharing, use the app to instantly sync channels across multiple devices. Obviously, you can just save your settings just like any other. And man, that sounds pretty nasty, pretty gnarly, but offline capability, program your radio settings even when offline, right? It says off grid on the website, and sync the configuration, connectivity with no connectivity being established. So with everything except for the like firmware updates, obviously you got to be online for that, and the network capabilities, and we'll talk about that at the end. But you can do everything else offline. Technically, you don't even have to have an account set up. You go into the app, and there's a way to sign in. You create a user profile, and that kind of gets you into that space of setting up the network channels and all that stuff. But everything else basically can be done without an account. I do, however, see some cool value, a lot of cool factor, essentially, in what it does with an account, and there's hundreds of thousands of people doing that today in different ways. So we'll get to it. Firmware device control. So wireless firmware updates receive notifications for push over the air firmware updates to your radio directly from the app, keeping your device up to date with features like the new KISS TNC mode and how that progresses. Custom key configuration, so customize the side keys. I think you can do that on the radio. Pretty sure I saw that, but the app just makes it a lot easier to do. So the UV Pro Radio quick access functions directly through the applications. Device settings, access and adjust general settings like display brightness, time zone, and unit preferences, especially APRS. Oh, sorry about that. So yeah, your APRS stuff is absolutely a little bit easier to see and deal with setting up from the app. I think there's parts of it that you can only do through the app for this setup. You don't have to use it to. You don't have the app. You don't have to have the app to completely use APRS or any of the messaging. But I think for APRS specific, you have to go in and put your APRS password. I believe all that has to be done from the app so that it can log that. I may be wrong. Actually, now that I'm saying that, general settings, KISS TNC, digital mode, radio settings, and I will, enable KISS TNC. I think you can do it, but regardless, the app makes it a lot simpler to use. And quickly, just a disclaimer, I'm not sponsored by anyone. I do all of this with my own money and my own time and my own curiosity. And then I seem to, in trying to promote like GMRS and radio use, I seem to be answering a lot of questions that's just over and over and over coming up. So that's what I want to kind of address. KISS TNC integration. Oh, sorry. Let me get back. So then the section 3 of the large scale functionality there is APRS. I've already mentioned that. So advanced data and location features. APRS, app assist in managing the radio's automatic packet reporting system capabilities for real-time tracking and position reporting. The KISS TNC integration enables the radio's Bluetooth TNC terminal node controller mode, allowing the UV Pro to interface third-party APRS and WinLink apps like APRS Droid on your phone. I have not specifically played with that. I don't do a lot on the APRS because I just don't. There's other methods that I'm using. The final bullet on that advanced features is that GPS and location sharing allows for the sharing of location information, compass direction. There's a compass on the radio that actually works really well. Distance relative to other users. So if there are radios in range of each other on the same frequency, and I'll talk about that at some point, you can kind of do a call out with your radio and it'll send a kind of a chirp message and a little data chirp. You'll hear it and the other radio will acknowledge, and it'll pass that back and forth if the other user has that set to allow for I forgot what it's called, like location capture or whatever. And the fourth biggest bucket there is the communication and networking. So text messaging. The app makes it really simple to text message, but you don't have to have that. So if you're on the same frequency, you can text the other radios on that frequency from the radio, but it does make it a lot simpler through the app. So text messages directly to other compatible radios. Compatible radios is the key, even with that GPS. This does not, just because a radio has GPS, if it's not one of these type radios with the, I think it's BSS or APRS and all of this type functionality, it's not going to work. I've got the DM32 Pro and another Baofeng that's got GPS. These radios will not acknowledge the location of those. They are not the same. And I did a video just kind of the disheartening part of that. And then the final bullet under the fourth segment is global network groups, which is kind of what I want to focus on the most. All the other things are awesome. Well, the texting and GPS, location sharing, tracking if you want to be tracked, and then that global network groups. So let's switch really quickly to the a picture, or looking at the app. 1 second. All right, here we go. So here is the UV Pro. Now, any of the UV, the GMRS 50 Pro, not everything I say here applies to the GMRS 50 Pro. The GMRS 50 Pro is highly stifled in its functionality in the app, just because it is a Part 95, supposedly a Part 95 radio. Highly unhappy with that. I bought a GMRS 50 Pro, let it go past my return date, and now I'm stuck with it. It is what it is. But if you're watching this and you're looking to get in one, I know for sure that the VGC N7600 can do GMRS. The N7500 can also do GMRS. It doesn't have GPS in it, but it does all the other things. So that's really the only caveat to that. I highly recommend the N7500. It's a great radio. They are none of them on the upper UHF frequencies are 50 watts. You're going to get somewhere between 25 and 30. I think I've seen 34, 35 range out of one of the radios. You're not going to get 50 out of it. It's nothing like a Midland MXT575 is. When I hook it up, I've got like a 1.20 SWR in my Jeep, and I am pumping 49 point something watts. Like it's a full 50 watts output, and it is strong, and the receive is much better. It is one of the downsides to the N7600, the N7500, and so far the BTECH GMRS 50 Pro. It feels like the GMRS 50 Pro is even less, but they just don't seem to be as sensitive on the receive. It's almost like the squelch, when you put the squelch on the first level, it is almost like it needs to be a little bit less. It really cuts out some signals that are very usable, even on like a handheld. I've had a handheld in my hand, literally sitting in my Jeep, and the handheld was picking up the signal where my amazing like GMRS antenna and cabling and setup, aside from the radio, were not. It cut out, and then I flipped back over to the Midland, and boom, I'm back in the races, and I'm receiving all of that, and it's clear, it's usable signal. So it's like the squelch is a little too much. Handheld, not so much like that, but the base radios are definitely in that space, and it's a well-matched antenna, so can't blame it on that. But yeah, so let's dive in. This is the handheld, and the menus are very similar. You hit menu, you've got channel, your signaling, which is your like APRS, your text messages, things like that. You can send DTMF signals. You can call other radios, or it's kind of like if you're using the same frequency and you do a call, it's basically lets you send a message, and it'll do a ring on the others with that message. You can check for others with a message. Or there it is, nearby people. If you hit nearby people, there it was. I'm gonna do it again. You hear that chirp coming out, and if there's another radio with the GPS on the same frequency, it will essentially bring that back to you. Your radio settings look like this. You can manage the dual watch, scan, talk around. So if you're on a repeater channel and you want to quickly hit talk around, it's that easy. You hit menu, radio settings, and talk around, boom, and you are talking around the repeater and back in basically simplex mode. There's your power settings, low, medium, high, your TX and RX tones for whatever channel you're on, your channel groups. So there's the, let me make sure I was right. Yep, 6 channel groups. And right now I have these set, and you can change between them. Squelch level, I've got on 1, which I wish on the base rail on the mobile radios they would do something with that. Your transmit time limit, your tail elimination, digital mute. I'm not 100% sure what that digital mute exactly is, but I'm still tinkering with it to figure that out. So your push to talk follow, push to talk release, kind of gives you the acknowledgement that you've hit it. Audio relay. All right, so this is basically turns it into parrot mode. So if you're familiar with the simplex repeaters, this is parrot mode. If I hit audio relay and I grab another radio and I say something, this will repeat it back. So it's like a simplex repeater. So if you're into a simplex repeater, this thing can do it. It's a little annoying, but it could be useful. Vox, I don't play with Vox, so I don't care. And you have all that to set up. So your VFO step, 25 kilohertz and channels when you're in VFO mode. Let's go to general settings. So your connection, this is how you would connect to like Bluetooth and things. You can put it in pairing mode. It'll show you available devices. So that's my base radio right there, N7500. I mean, it doesn't have GPS, so I have no reason for it to show where I live, so I put it at home. But then it shows, what devices is this paired with, and then you can pair it with that. Signal settings. This is identifying the radio, so you can see who it is. So when I'm on my other radios, it will show me, hey, when this is my wife's. So, and our call sign is WRDX 849, so I just put Mandy 849. Allow position check and signal preamble I turned off, and that is it. Oh, there's your APR settings. I thought so. So you can choose all of your settings here. Oh, let's see, go back. KISS TNC. You can enable it. Upload sent messages. Actually, I need to enable that on this one. And transmit delay, transmit tail. I'm just going to leave that alone. Digital mode is enabled. Smart beacon is on. Sharing locations every 800 seconds. What channel? You can set it. So I've got all of these to where they're basically using the, and we use these for GMRS mainly. So we use the kind of the travel channel, kind of that lightly agreed travel channel, and I use channel 20, which is 462.675 with a 141.3 tone. I don't remember why that was agreed upon, but it is what it is. You can put a message that it sends out every time it beacons. I don't use that. Send power voltage, I should probably turn that on. And then there's the format, this BSS. That's what I was talking about earlier. So you can change that to APRS format or BSS format. BSS, I think, is what you're supposed to use if you are using this across GMRS, because that is what my GMRS version has it set on. It doesn't have APRS settings in it. Alright, sound settings, your speaker on or off, your mic gain, enable the Bluetooth mic. You've got some options with these radios. They offer these guys, which is a Bluetooth mic specific for the VGC or the BTECH radios. They're pretty great actually, and you can use them with the Android app to actually just talk through the app like a radioless node. If you have any idea what I'm talking about, we can get into that more later. You tell it to keep connected. Yeah, so there's those settings. Your display settings, I could probably stand to turn this down so you can see it better. There we go, that does look better. Screen timeout, time zone, imperial units. Let me do that because I forgot to set hers up. Low power mode, not sure what that does. Probably sets all the timing of cutting the thing out, cutting the screens out and whatnot. lock channel data, and then reset settings. So lock channel data, if you program this for somebody and you're scared they're going to mess up their settings, you can lock it out so they can't actually edit it. They can just use the radio. And then you got a reset. And you got your NOAA weather scan, weather alerts. I need to turn that on. And we are normally, I think, number 3. Let me show you that.
No, yesterday. There were no heating degree days yesterday, and there were 6 cooling degrees.
Yeah.
Which occurred at
Yep.
7 a.m.
That's what I thought.
The normal height.
Turn the monitor off, turn alert back on. And these work really well, actually. So if channel 3 sends out an alert, this radio will do the alert just like any other weather radio. Now, it doesn't do the SAME, they call it SAME functionality, to where no matter where you are in the world, it just says, hey, you're here and this should be the channel you're on. It doesn't do that, but you set the channel as you just saw me do. And yeah, you can do weather scan, and it'll kind of look for any alerts at that point. Alright, sync settings. There's where you can send channels or receive channels. If I got 2 of these radios, I want to share what's on here with another one. I hit send, I hit receive on the other, and boom, they just sync. Frequency scan. You can set a frequency scan range and just bounce through it. The rapid scan, tone scanning, right? So you're trying to, you can hear a repeater out there and you're trying to figure out, why can't I talk to this thing? That's how you find that. And it's pretty simple. You set the range or you set the frequency and just hit go, and it'll figure it out for you. Very fun at HEB in all the car washes. GPS status. This thing's been sitting indoors, just using it for the video. Compass. That's how you do the compass. So you place on a level surface, screen up, press OK, and then it'll tell you to do a figure 8, literally like this, and it'll set the compass for you. Status, battery voltage, firmware, gives you all the basic information. So pairing mode, just manual pairing mode, FM radio. Pretty good. And the antenna, this is actually in the antenna that come with it, but the antenna that comes with it is pretty good as well. Turn it off. Alright, so I think that is everything. Yep, that's the entire menu. Alright, so if you want to quickly change groups, you see it right here on the right. You hit the red button, shows you your groups, and you can jump back and forth through the groups. If you hit right, it'll show you your compass and your heading, which I don't have it calibrated here. It shows you other devices and how far away they are from you. It'll show you a listing of them. This is the other device. You can hit that, it'll tell you where they are. Let's see, and that's my base radio, and it's got a location manually set in it, so don't think that is my house. What else to show you? Alright, I think that's enough of that. Let's look at the app. That's what I want to show, and I'm going to focus here on especially the networking functions. Now, I will go ahead and just get this out of the way, that GMRS repeater linking, right? That's always a contentious conversation, and is it still done? Yes. Is it against FCC rules and regulations? Yes. And what I'm about to talk to you about doesn't necessarily have to be linking them. It can be monitoring them. So here's what I'm able to do. So I set up on my local repeaters through my base radio, which is over there, not this handheld, and it is linked to my roof antenna up top, up there. And I set up these channels, and you can see right here when I go to Pretty sure that was Conroe. Yep. Conroe station. And there it is. So there's the listing, or yeah. So I can monitor remotely. Yeah. So you see conversation, and that is Justin and Adrian. Let me turn this down and kill that. All right, now we're back in the game. So yeah, so I have, through this radio, I can monitor. You see BTECH GMRS is one network channel, but then you see these dots. These are, oh sorry, I'm covering up the camera. You see these dots, it tells me that I have things on those channels. I go to Memorial Park. Now it shows like I'm transmitting, but I haven't been transmitting on the frequency. It's just, it picks it up in a weird way. Let's see. Yeah, oh, never mind, I put the volume down. But these are monitoring channels. Now, when you get the radios, you're going to have the BTECH GMRS. Now, this is a network channel. Now, what you will find is that if you go into, well, if I go here and I just, let's see, I go to my base station and say, let's go to road trip. I'm going to specifically pick that one. Now, I'm in road trip, so let's just say you were on this channel. If you press and hold, you get this menu right here. So let me try to get that a little more where you can see it. You'll have edit channel, bind channel. So if you just want to edit your channels, then this is your channel information here. It's got it there. Okay. Sorry for the sloppy camera work, but it was a little tough. I'll save my changes. Let's go back. So what I did is I have channel 20 set. I have it bound. Sync radio config to the device. So I've got, this is my base. It's almost like its own account. And I have relay mode in. Now, what does that mean exactly? So relay, earlier I told you, if you just pick a channel and set relay on it, then it's just going to be a simplex repeater. But now when you bind it, right, you see unbind as an option. You see unbind as an option indicating that I have it bound. And I bound channel 20 to that GMRS road trip channel, network channel. So here's what we're gonna do. Let me put it in single channel mode. We go back, there we go. All right, let me hit unbind just to show you. So I named channel 20 GMRS road trip. All right, I say bind network. I'm gonna bind it to GMRS road trip, and then I'm gonna press it again, and I'm gonna choose relay mode. Now, here is a radio that is not connected to an app at all. It's just a radio. And I guess I could grab another one. But what you'll find when I back this up just a little bit, sorry, I'm going to talk from a radio that is not connected to this app. This is just analog. WRDX 849 testing. Oh, yep, there it went. It went through the radio. And you see, let's see if I can get that in there. So you see, it's the handheld. Sorry, that looks very awful. It's the handheld coming through in relay mode. So that is the trick here. Now, I can sit here in my house, and if you think about it, it's similar to like crossband repeat, right? So I may use let's just say a VHF and a UHF frequency. I got a UHF repeater that I'm trying to link to, so I pick a VHF simplex, common use channel, and I put that on the other side of a crossband repeater, and I link them in that main radio in my base. I've actually got a TYT 9800 sitting right here, and I've done this before. And then I take my handheld and I put it on the VHF frequency. So now when I talk through the VHF, it transmits it over the UHF, and then vice versa. It brings it back. So turning your radio essentially into a repeater, but it's not a UHF repeater. It's a VHF UHF crossband. These are like cross network, like it's network to UHF. So this actually is, if someone were just driving by in the area and they transmitted on channel 20 with this tone, it would come across this, and I could talk to them analog. If someone's using it and connected to this channel and they're out on the road with their radio, it would come across and I could talk to it. So it's just a way to kind of build the community. So this video is getting long. Really didn't want it to be, but just wanted to show that functionality. At the same time, it'll show you a map of users that are here. And if I zoom way in, you'll see different things popping up. Alright, so now it picks up both APRS format for this map and other radios. So when you see these logos popping up on the screen, these are people that have one of these radios. Some of these dots are APRS that I haven't cleared out yet. When I first turned it on, I set up the APRS part, and it downloaded it, basically captured all this data through iGates, and I just haven't cleared it out. But what matters the most is the ones with the icons. These are people that are around that have this radio, right? These are users who have an account, who are on the network, and some of them are people that I talk to. And when I zoom out, you'll see there's quite a few folks. So that's the beauty of it. That's the good part of it, I would say, is you end up linking up with a lot of people. Now, there again, let's go back. Is this technically legal with GMRS? It says you can't extend your range. Now, you got two options here. What are these network channels good for? If you get this Bluetooth mic, if this is all you're worried about and you don't want to do anything RF with this at all, if you get one of these Bluetooth mics and an Android device, and everything I just showed you was Android only, Android only, Android only. iOS, basically you can set up your channels, set up your radio, and it gives you access to the network channels, but you can't use this. I haven't figured out how to make it work yet. It just doesn't work with iOS, as well as talking through the app with your just handheld radio, because I'm not kidding, I can go get in the Jeep and turn on my Android device linked up to one of these networks, and it's like I'm talking to them over the radio. It comes through the radio, I talk through the radio, and my device is off to the side. I don't have to fiddle with anything. I'm just talking as normal. And when you bind it to the channels, if you just want to stop talking on that network channel, then you just change the channel and you're done. It's nothing like All-Star. I don't know. I've been doing that for a while. You know, when the linking was big, it was fun. It was cool at first, but kind of got burnt out on it. So anyway, that's all I'm going to share for today. Network channels, GMRS Road Trip is the one to join. Give me a second and I will share with you the information that you need. GMRS Road Trip is the network channel if you want to add this, because I actually monitor it quite regularly. I mean, we really need to be promoting more of a, kind of like the VHF 2-meter call. So GMRS Road Trip, the passcode is the frequency in which it's on without the decimal, obviously, 462675, and that is with a if you really want to run this analog, then that's with a 141.3 tone, and that's kind of your agreed or official, unofficial tone to use and channel to use for that. All right, there's a ton more here I'm sure I could cover, but I'm just gonna leave it there and let it be. That BTECH GMRS was on my app the moment I signed into it. So yeah, that's it. This is kind of what it looks like in the app. Here's your settings, your squelch level. There's where I told you, 1 seems like it's too high. I wish we could adjust that a little more fine tune. You can turn on the radio and do it that way. It turned on over there. So what else? You can switch your device region, which is your grouping, and and you can just unlink from the radio. So that's about it. I appreciate it, guys, and thanks for watching. Sorry the video was so long, but I feel it's a good one, some good information. Let me know if you have any specific topics within this. Later.